Hi Sagittarius, I hope you're doing well today. Sagittarius, this is a general reading for you, so there's no dates or times specific to this reading. Whenever it finds you, if it resonates, it's good for that time. There's no sort of boundaries on that. Please remember that this is a general reading, so the message won't be for everybody. Please make sure that you're just constantly running everything through your intuition, Sagittarius, and making sure that you are actually resonating with the message if you're starting to take on the advice and guidance, because obviously, as I said, it is a general message, so the videos aren't for everyone, but hopefully if this message isn't for you, then there will be something in the next one for you. And Sagittarius, please feel free to swap and reverse the roles however you need. It's much easier if I just interpret the storyline from one perspective. So if I'm saying one side is the Sagittarius and you're relating more with the other side, same goes for cross-watcher, that's absolutely fine. It's just easier if I stick with one side of the story or one sort of version of it. But you swap and change it however you need to, Sagittarius. So let's get into your reading. So we're going to start with the animal spirits, because the last few days these seem to want to be the starting point. So an animal spirit, oh sorry, I thought one flipped them. Animal spirit for Sagittarius, please. I will say this, Sagittarius, I felt very calm and peaceful when I sat down to do your reading. I just felt, oh, interesting. Yeah, I felt really sort of, yeah, just very steady, very calm, very peaceful. It was a really nice energy to shift into, because the last few readings that I did the last few days, they weren't necessarily like that. They were quite high energy or quite stressful, but your energy didn't really feel like that. So we've got the turtle and the hawk. So, Sagittarius, I want to say that both of these are actually representing you right now. Even though they're very opposite energies, obviously we've got a water and then we've got an air element here. I do want to say both of them are you simultaneously at the same time. So both of these creatures, do you remember what I was saying about when I connected to your energy? It felt very steady, very peaceful, very calm. Both of these creatures in their own right, although they move very differently through the world, they're very, how's the best way to describe it? They're not scattered, right? They move very efficiently. The turtle, it flows through water, you know, it's really graceful. Whenever you see a turtle moving through water, it is very graceful, you know, it's very buoyant, it just kind of floats and it glides. And then the hawk is literally one of the most beautiful birds that you can see in flight. Like, it just absolutely rules its element of air. It just glides through the skies with ease. So these two elements here, like both of these creatures are completely comfortable in their own element. They are complete efficient embodiments of their elements, right? So with both of them, because obviously they're coming from different elements, they both come with their own medicine, right? So the turtle's medicine is very much flowing. It's in flow, it's gentle. Like I said, it sort of glides, it moves with ease, it moves not against the current, but it moves with the current. And the same goes for the hawk, right? So when you see birds that fly really gracefully in the sky, what they're doing is they're catching all the you know, like the slipstreams of air. They're catching all like the up currents of hot air and that. And that's what they kind of glide along. So, you know, the turtle, it always reminds me kind of I can't remember his name, but you know, in Finding Nemo, it reminds me of that really like cool dude turtle, right? And you know, when they go on that Australian like I can't remember what it's called, but there's like a really fast current that they take in the movie. Disney lovers will know what I mean. But you know, it's very much just the same thing happening in the air when it comes to the birds, right? So these two animals, although they seem very different, are actually incredibly similar in the way that they're moving. So there's something about the way, Sagittarius, that you are currently moving through the world, or currently approaching projects or a situation that is just almost like effortless. It's like you've just kind of, you've hit your stride. You've hit your stride. It's coming with ease. You're feeling in the flow. But then the hawk brings this kind of extra added element of being so keen with its eyesight, right? Being so keen. It's like, you know, it's almost, it's like the perfect hunter, right? Because I really hope I'm getting this right, but is it Mongolian tribes? Somewhere in that part of the world, they use, like, you know, like falcons and hawks to actually hunt with. You know, it's almost like how we would use dogs, like in Europe, sorry. And I'm pretty sure actually they use, yeah, they do like falconry hunting in that in Europe, and in past like sort of civilizations across Europe. But that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. It's like whatever you're doing, you're so efficient in it, and you're so accurate, and you're so focused on the details. It's the best way that I can put it really is that you're just absolutely hitting the ground running. Like, you're doing such a good job, and like, you know that you're doing a good job. Like, Sagittarius knows it, and everybody else knows it. Everyone else can see. So it really, it just, there's not much more else I can really say on those two cards, to be honest, other than I think that whatever it is that you're doing right now, you're doing with a lot of ease and a lot of grace, and you're doing it just to like the top standard, right? Just the top standard of whatever it is that you're actually doing. So we'll move to this stack and get some more for you, Sagittarius. Yeah, your energy just feels really nice. Like, I just feel totally chilled. It's really, really lovely energy to sit in. Oh, interesting, Sagittarius. We had death come out. How intriguing. Ooh. Right. So what this feels like, Sagittarius, is like a death to a part of yourself. And what I mean by that is, like, you see how he's stamping on this really small, like, little individual here? It's like Sagittarius is almost recently, whatever process you've gone through, you've just absolutely stamped out any lack of confidence, lack of self-belief, anything that was holding you back, Sagittarius. It's like you've somehow overcome it. You've gone through some sort of transformative process that has resulted in you just finally seeing your talents and your abilities for what they are, and realizing just how good you are at your job, or just how good you are at what you do, or just how much of an amazing person you are and how skilled and talented you are. But like, I do feel like that you had a lot of a lack of self-belief beforehand, and now suddenly something's happened and you've gone through this death process, this transformative process, where it's like now you're finally, it's like Sagittarius is like finally kind of emerging from the cocoon and just like bursting into flight, fully just armed with all your skills, all your talents, and you're just feeling great about it. But I feel like this, like these elements here, right, because that's what this little dude here is kind of representing. It's like, you see how this factory's in the background as well? It's like you've gone through this massive process here of like this one here, which represents your fears, your anxieties, you know, parts of your own shadow, like lack of self-belief, lack in self-confidence. You know, I feel like this was much, much bigger before. Like, it was a bit of a looming shadow on you. It was a bit of a weight on your back, or something that you struggled to overcome for a while. But you've then gone into this factory here, and it's like you've been through this hard process, this hard graft, this hard grind. It might have been something that was quite painful for you, Sagittarius, or something happened that just triggered this kind of awakening as such. And now it's like Sagittarius is just mounting over that. Like, you're so much bigger than what your fears are now, which is really beautiful. I love that, Saggy. So we're gonna get a bit more. God, this is like probably, so far, I have to say, is one of the most positive readings that I've done, because I just feel like I want to keep saying, like, well done, Saggy. Like, well done. You got there. You got there in the end. You knew the confidence was there, but you just needed a little push, right? Alright, we'll get some more for you, Saji. Queen of Fire. Ooh, Saji. I want to get one more as well, and then I'll, you want to see the card, don't you? Of course you want to see the card. I'm sorry it doesn't focus, Sagittarius. Hopefully I will get a better camera eventually. So we've got Queen of Fire that came out, which is absolutely you in your element. You are mutable fire, right? So you rule fire, so you are absolutely in your element. And then we've got the Seven of Earth, I think. Yeah, Seven of Earth. Sorry, like, because like you only read the cards with the alchemical symbols and then the numericals as well. Like, it takes me a minute sometimes to figure out. But look at these cards, Saji. What was I saying about you being completely in your element? Look at this guy. Like, all his chakras are lit up. Sorry. All his chakras are lit up. He's perfectly in balance. You know what I was saying at the start? I just feel so chilled, like so at peace. Look at him. He's just hanging there, meditating, totally chilled out. Like, look at all his fruits here showing. He's got like all the seasons in his tree. It's like complete wholeness. Like, there's a sense of fulfillment, right? And you know what I've just noticed as well on this card here? You see how this death is like pregnant. You know what I was saying about like how you've been reborn and like coming out of the cocoon, right? It's like you've gone through this birthing process by going through this death. And here you are now, just completely in your element. And with this Queen of Fire here as well. Well, the Queen, we all know what the Queen of Fire is, right? The Queen of Fire is the archetypal image of pure self-confidence, charismatic, belief in oneself, someone who is magnetic and can draw people to them. You know, it's someone who just absolutely is fully aware that they can make the room glow and that they have every confidence in their abilities and capabilities. Someone who's passionate and an excellent speaker. And it's like you now are sort of embodying all these qualities which you knew you were perfectly capable of doing before. But whatever this death process is that you've gone through, it's like that's actually brought it into being now. And now everyone else is starting to see it. It's so awesome, Sag. And I just love this card here. It's like you've literally gone through like this whole cycle, right? Because we have the cycles of the seasons here. And now they're all starting to bear fruit. And like I said about like all these chakra systems just being lit up here, it's like you've suddenly everything's just like fallen into alignment and you can feel it. You feel like you're in alignment, you feel like you're in the flow, you feel like you're in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time. And it just feels awesome. I love it, Saji. Oh, it's just such a positive reading. I almost don't want to pull any more cards because it just seems so like, so positive. And what was I saying before about, you know, you coming through this cocoon process and then we've got these two beautiful butterflies here down at the bottom. I mean, it's just everything that I was kind of intuiting before. I love it, Sag. I mean, we've pulled quite a few cards already, but I feel like we need to get a bit more because it's just so positive. So hopefully we'll continue on this storyline. But another card, please, for Saji. Okay, so you've got the Five of Fire and the Maiden. So here we're starting to get a little bit of, still all positive, Sag. It's still all positive. But as you can see, like with these two individuals here fighting, we're starting to get a bit of this conflict. I actually think that this is you still, Saji. I feel like this is an internal battle that you've had with yourself. And you know what I was saying before? I was saying about how the recent past, it feels like you had this lack of self-confidence, lack of self-belief, like it was your own kind of inner demons, your own sort of inner shadow that wasn't allowing you to step fully into your potential or stepping fully into your light and fully into your skills. So this to me feels like a very internal battle that you've just come out of and that you've just won, right? Because we've got two individuals here and then we've got these two individuals here. So it's like this is how it was recently. Both your self-confidence and then your lack of self-belief were sort of an equal measure with one another, because that's what I was saying before, right? I was saying that this little one here seemed like it was sort of much bigger before, like a looming shadow. And now suddenly it's like just diminished and shrunk down to this tiny little thing here now, which is being totally stamped out. And with this Maiden here, oh gosh, sorry. with this maiden energy here. So this is reminding me, obviously, like if you're familiar with goddess symbolism, the goddess is split into, or quite a few goddesses are split into the maiden, the mother and the crow, which represents like 3 different life cycles, right? Or 3 different cycles of self, right? Of self-evolution that one will go through in their life. And the maiden is, you know, the youngest representation of the goddess. So it represents us in our youth, right? And it doesn't have to be attached to age, right? Okay, I know obviously the symbolism suggests age, but it doesn't have to be attached to age. You could be in the maiden cycle still when you're in your 30s, right? It doesn't mean that you just have to be a teenager, because everybody has their own timeline of self-evolution. Everyone has their own timeline that they're working on. And so regardless of that, you definitely were in, I will say, this sort of maiden aspect, right? Which is a beautiful aspect in itself, right, to be in. But there's always, with the maiden, there's the sense of finding one's footing in the world, finding one's feet. And you know, I've said finding one's feet, and I don't know why, but you see how she's like lifting up her dress here, and then I was just kind of imagining her like lifting up her dress and checking, like, is my feet there? Yeah, it's sort of like you're finding one's feet, right, during this. It's like symbolic of youth, right? Finding your path. You see how she's sort of walking down this path here. It's like finding your path in life. Sorry, my housemate distracted me a bit then because she ran past. But yeah, it's like this, there's a sense of not being fully developed yet, right? Not knowing which direction it is that you want to head in, or not knowing what it is that you're good at yet, right? You know, it's very much that journey of the youth in that sense. And I want to say, like, that's what you've just kind of moved out of. And obviously when we're in our youth, you know, not everybody finds out what they want to do so early on, right? You know, some people it takes a long time for them to discover it, or for some people it takes a long time for them to step in and into their own skin and feel completely comfortable in themselves. And that's the process that you've gone through by getting rid of this internal conflict. You've now sort of moved out of this maiden cycle into this sort of the next stage, the mother cycle. That doesn't mean you're gonna have a child. That's not what it represents, so don't worry if any blokes are watching this and they're like, hang on, that's not what I've been planning. Like I said, age doesn't matter, and also gender doesn't matter. It's just symbolism, right? It's just an archetypal image. So the mother cycle is when a person has finally reached that point in their life where they feel like they know what their purpose is, they know what they're here to do, they know what they're good at now, and they have confidence in it. You know, it's wisdom that comes with time and wisdom that comes with age. And that's what it feels like you're moving into now. It's almost like she's sort of found her footing now. She's found her footing, and it's like she's saying goodbye to her little friend here, and she's almost like, is that a butterfly? Oh yeah, see it. Well, there's a moth that's coming out of the palm of her hand. Oh, it's so beautiful, Saggy. We've got these butterflies here. What was I saying about the cocoon? But it's like she's almost sort of like, okay, found my footing now. I found the path. I know which way I'm going. I know which direction I'm going. I know which doorway is calling to me now. And it's like she's sort of saying goodbye to her friends, her little forest friends, and she's like, right, I'm on my way. Oh, I love it, Saggy. Saggy, I honestly, I don't want to read anymore because it feels like it's just a massive well done to you. And I really hope that this video makes you feel good, because you're definitely getting a big round of applause from the other side. It seems like you've gone through a really wonderful process, and I feel like you're really just stepping into yourself and who you are and feeling comfortable in your skin. And that is incredibly beautiful, and you should be very excited and very proud. So Saggy, I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope there was something in here for you. If not, hopefully there will be something in the next one. But I do hope you have a wonderful day, Saggy. If you liked the video, please subscribe and give me a like. And yeah, hopefully I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, Saggy.